Hi everybody, it's the Tommy Maroon Sports Show right here on WCTV, episode number 258. I hope you're enjoying today because I know for a fact I am. I cannot wait for Friday night. Biggest week of high school football all across the state of Ohio. You know that for a fact. Let's look at Tommy's picks to celebrate. Yep, I would be talking Guardians, but the season's over now. And I would be talking Cavaliers, but their season doesn't start till tomorrow. So next week you'll get some of the Cavs stuff. And then Tommy's picks, of course. So without further ado, let's get into Tommy's picks right now. A very respectable job in what do you call it, high school. And D3 action. The NFL, you'll see the NFL in a second. Highland beat Cuyahoga Falls by a final score of 56-0. It was like hitting the Staples button. That was easy. What else did we see? We also saw Wadsworth edge out a 1-point win of Solon. My word. That's not easy, folks. 28-27 over the Comets. Shaker Heights, my upset. I got that right. 22-21. Medina, what happened to them? They're struggling. Mentor beat Strongsville 44-17. Walsh still staying undefeated, 9-0 with a 38-7 win over the Devils, or Blue Devils, I should say. Benedictine, my lock of the week, shutout Brush, 39-0. Avon Lake took down North Ridgeville on a walk-off field goal, 12-10. Did I mention Berea Midpark picked up win number 2 this season, 35-14 over the Olmsted Falls Bulldogs. And the Nordonia Knights getting back to their winning ways with a 47-20 win over the Stowe Monroe Falls Bulldogs. Brecksville beat the Twinsburg Tigers 28-20. What else you might be wondering? I'll tell you, 2 teams are leaving their respective conferences, i.e. the American Conference. Talmadge beat Roosevelt 21-14. Yeah, Talmadge, Roosevelt, and Cuyahoga Falls will not be part of the Suburban League starting next season. They'll be in the MAC, I think, Metro Athletic Conference, if I'm not mistaken. And then the Aurora Greenmen did Aurora Greenmen things, which was a 53-3 win over the Magics. Copley's on fire right now. Don't touch them. You're going to get burned. 47-35. They bring back the bell. And what was a huge, monumental win for the Indians. They are 5-4. And they could be hosting a playoff game come next week. Avon won again, 42-7. Buckeye beat Rocky River, 55-7. How about those Cloverleaf Colts shutting out Woodridge, 17-0. What else you might be wondering? Cleveland Heights over Euclid, 70-27. And a huge upset. Listen to this, North Royalton, they're 5-4 too. They're doing pretty good. They're 4-5 rather. They beat Hudson 43-35 and Mayfield down Riverside 21-17. What else do we see in D3 football? Got them all right except one. The one that I didn't get right was Bowdoin because they lost to Wesleyan 17-14. St. John's beat up on Carleton 48-7. Mount Union won again, unsurprisingly. Oshkosh, my upset, won 24-17. And Endicott beat New England 39-7. What else do we see? We saw Mooresville edge out 2-point win over Utica 28-26. 14-12 Catholic win over Lycoming. Westminster shut out St. Vincent. St. Vincent struggling a little bit, 56-0. Alma beat Albion 40-30. Wittenberg down Kenyon 27-7. Wabash, the old Giants, beat the Hiram Terriers 56-7. On UB Capital 42-41. Mount St. Joe's beat Bluffton 63-27. Wilmington got their first win of the season, a 31-21 win over the Otterbein Cardinals. And John Carroll wins the last Gold Bowl game in dramatic fashion. I was there. It was one of the toughest losses I've ever seen. Thought we were going to do it. We were up 10-0 at the half. I thought, you know what, we're going to win the game. They scored 2 touchdowns in the third. We take the lead with under 2.5. I'm like, we got this. And then, sure enough, Carroll got the touchdown with 52 seconds left, and our last-ditch effort didn't work out. And the Rock's going to stay in University Heights forever, unfortunately. Cal beat Nebraska Wesleyan 50-0. Adrian beat Calvin 30-10. And Randolph Macon beat Everett 49-10. Now let's go to FBS action and the NFL. Virginia Tech beat Boston College 42-21. And Duke, poor Florida State. Do we feel bad for them? No, they suck. 23-16. They only have one win this season, the Seminoles. Miami escapes from Upset City, otherwise known as Louisville, with a 52-45 win. Indiana doing Indiana. I think they're 7-0. Who would have thunk it? 56-7. Cincinnati over the Arizona State Sun Devils 24-14. And Tennessee edges out a 7-point win over Alabama 24-17. Notre Dame going back to winning ways as they have been all season long, except for Northern Illinois. Still feel a little bummed out about that. 31-13. Illinois beat Michigan 21-7. Colorado beat Arizona 34-7. What else is going on? LSU beat Arkansas 34-10. And Georgia, Downs number 1 in the country at their place, 30-15. And Kansas State on fire by decimating West Virginia 45-18. As you can tell, I didn't do well in the FBS. 8-8 record. My goodness, that ain't good. Michigan State beat Iowa 32-21. The 8 games I got wrong. Florida, they're starting to heat up a little bit. 48-20 win over the Wildcats. And UNLV beat Oregon State 33-25. And TCU beat Utah in a Big 12 matchup 13-7. Now let's go to the NFL where I got all but 2 games correct. It's rough whenever you get such few amount of games incorrect. Broncos against the Saints. Broncos won that 33-10. And then in London, the Jaguars and Patriots in a game nobody liked. But the Jaguars did win it by a final score of 34-14. And then the Seahawks beat the Falcons 34-14. The Bills beat the Titans 34-10. And the Browns season's history. Yes, oh ye gods, my roast is ruined. The roast is totally ruined. And they cannot purchase fast food and disguise it as their own cooking. By the way, Superintendent Chalmers is from Utica. Of course, we saw that Morrisville did beat Utica. I did mention it. I forgot to mention that Superintendent Chalmers is from Utica. But yeah, and he never heard anyone use the phrase steamed hams. But anyways, it's over. Deshaun Watson's out for a season. He was not good at all. Nobody on this team is good. Just blow up this team to smithereens. Who cares? This team isn't going anywhere anyways. 1-6 start to the season. Baltimore's next week. Chargers are the week after. Then mercifully a bye week. Oh my word, this is just horrible. It is a flaming disaster of a season for the Browns. Well, at least I got that game right. Oh, ye gods, yes. Packers won 24-22 over the Texans. Colts beat Free Willy 16-10. Lions on a walk-off field goal, or go-ahead field goal in the ballgame, 131-29. Eagles beat the Giants 28-3. Rams beat the Raiders 20-15 off a late-minute interception. Commies beat up on the Panthers. They're bad too, 40-7. Chiefs are still undefeated, 28-18. Steelers won on Sunday night, 37-15. And the Ravens beat the Buccaneers, who lost not one, but 2 of their star receivers, and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, who are likely going to be out for a while, folks. And on the other Monday night game, the Cardinals beat the Chargers 17-15. Now it's time for Tommy's Picks. A highly anticipated Friday night and Saturday night and maybe Thursday night of high school football, including a game tonight. That is in Keystone and Clearview. I think the Wildcats will win that. But enough of that. High school football, good guys against the Green Men. 2 teams 9-0 on the season. Oh, my word. This is going to be so much fun. It's at Aurora. 2 teams poised to make runs. 2 teams in Fantastic 50 rankings. Who am I picking? I'm picking the Hornets. Go Hornets. We're going to go 10-0. We're going to win. I'm going to say a victory quote. If we win. That's only if we win. Told the gang out there, use that as motivation if they want to hear the victory quote. Avon will beat Avon Lake. They'll also be undefeated. St. Ed's against Hoban. Got to go with St. Ed's. They're 5-4. They'll probably finish 6-4. They could be 5-5. Good Lord, that ain't good. Walsh, they will be 10-0 too. They will beat Padua. Washington will beat McKinley in a very anticipated rivalry match out at Paul Brown Tiger Stadium. Strongsville will beat Brunswick. They'll be 6-4 at the end of the season. Olmsted Falls will bounce back with a win over Midview. And then another highly anticipated game, Maple Heights and Lorraine. Got to go with the Lorraine Titans on the road. And DCL against Lake Catholic. Got to go with the Cougars. And, of course, I mentioned Keystone will beat Clearview tonight. Yeah, there's a Tuesday night game. How about that, folks? Streetsboro is my lock of the week. They will finish the season unbeaten with a win over the Cloverleaf Colts. And the Buckeye Bucks will beat the Lakewood Rangers. And an upset, the 2-win Westlake Demons will beat the 4-win North Olmsted Eagles. Wadsworth against the red-hot North Royalton team lately. Got to go with the Grizzlies, though. And then Nordonia against Brecksville going with the Knights. Elyria will pick up their first and only win of the season with a win over Brigham Mid Park, in my opinion, which means they could quite easily make the playoffs. Who knows? And St. Ignatius left out of the playoffs? They got a Canadian team this Friday, so there is that. North Ridgeville will beat Amherst. Copley, who's also been red hot, they'll beat Talmadge. Revere over Roosevelt. Chardon will beat Riverside. Geneva over Jefferson area. Well, let's look at D3 football, which is on the right side, or, right there. Cortland will beat St. John Fisher. Whitewater over Platteville. Lacrosse will beat River Falls. The last two games are Wisconsin schools. Co will upset Wartburg and Whitworth, my lock of the week, over Pacific. Ohio Wesleyan, they will beat Hiram. What else? Capital will beat Otterbein, even though both teams are not doing that well this season. Worcester will beat Oberlin because Oberlin is not doing well either. Alma against Salvic, got to go with the Scots. Albion against Kalamazoo, got to go with the Albion. Randolph Macon, the Yellow Jackets will beat Bridgewater. Wilmington, who picked up their first win of the season with a win over Otterbein. I think they will lose to John Carroll, though, even though they're home. Franklin against Mount St. Joe's. Got to pick Mount St. Joe's. Hanover will beat Manchester. Muskingum will beat Heidelberg. I think we're going to bounce back. Indeed. Coach Hilvert is a great coach. He knows how to get the team up and motivated. I think he'll find a way to pick up a win over a tough team like Marietta, too. Milliken will beat Carthage and Westminster over Case. Case is knocking on the door, being in the top 25 in the country. They're undefeated, but they'll have a huge test against Grove City later on this season. We'll see if they're up for it or whatnot. And the FBS, it's been a wacky season to say the least. UNLV is my upset over Boise State. Rutgers will beat the Trojans of USC. And Ohio State, folks, Ohio State will beat Nebraska. And Notre Dame will beat Navy. My lock of the week. Never thought I'd ever put the Indiana Hoosiers as my lock of the week in FBS football, but here I am doing it, folks. Here I am doing it. Gotta pick the Hoosiers over Washington. They're undefeated. They'll go to 8-0, and who knows, playoffs? Who knows? Virginia will beat Georgia Tech. Oregon will beat Illinois. They're number one in the country. Alabama against Missoula. An ice-cold Alabama team. But I think the Tide will win. Baylor will lose to Oklahoma State. Texas will bounce back with a win over Vandy. What else? Miami will beat Florida State because Florida State sucks. What else? Wisconsin, Penn State. That'll actually be a pretty good game in my opinion. Gotta go Penn State. Texas A&M against LSU, the 12th man against Death Valley at the home of the 12th man, I should say. Gotta go LSU, though. Michigan against Michigan State. Give me the Spartans. Kansas State against Kansas. Gotta go with the Wildcats. And Colorado beat Cincinnati. Now it's time for the NFL. Rams Vikings. Thursday night. Gotta go with the Vikings. No international games, but Browns Ravens would have picked the Ravens my lock of the week, but I think I already had them as my lock of the week. But they'll still win by like 20 or some stuff like that. Lions will be my lock over to the Tennessee Titans. And the Houston Texans will beat the Indianapolis Colts with a bounce-back win. The Packers will beat the Jaguars. Why did I say Vikings? I don't know. But the Packers will beat the Jaguars. Free will against the Cardinals. Got to go Arizona. Kyler Murray squeaked out a scrappy and gritty win last night. Think they can do it again. Tank Bowl, Patriots, Jets. Who cares about that game? I don't. But the Patriots will probably win. Buccaneers against the Falcons. Got to go with the Falcons. Here's my upset of the week, folks. The Bengals will beat the Eagles. And the Chargers against the Saints. I don't have anyone highlighted, but I'm going with the Chargers. I'll bold that on my phone, so hang on a minute. There we go. Seahawks, Bills. Got to go with the Bills. Commies, Bears. Both teams are doing pretty good this season. 2 Rookie of the Year candidates on offense. Got to go with the Commies, though. They're home. Broncos against the pathetic Panthers. Got to go Broncos. Raiders against the Chiefs. They'll be 7-0 Kansas City. Sunday night, the Cowboys could go to 3-4. Think they will once the 49ers beat them. And then the Steelers against the Giants. Got to go with the Steelers. They are red hot. Not so fast, Eager McBeager, as they say on SpongeBob. Anyways, that is it for Tommy's Picks. I hope you enjoyed it. But looking at the upcoming schedule, if you're not subscribed to WHBW, I highly suggest that you do. Tonight, there will be a high school volleyball game between us and North Olmsted, Highland and North Olmsted. I'll be live streamed at 5 p.m. And then tomorrow it will be BW volleyball against Mount Union. And then Thursday it will be boys soccer for Highland against Canfield. Friday night, the big one against Aurora. And Saturday, if we beat Canfield, Thursday I'll go to Byers Field to broadcast the game against the rough and tough. Who do you call them? Let me see in a minute, but Saturday afternoon, I know for a fact we have the, North Olmsted Eagles. It'll be an exciting game. But yeah, the winner of Canfield Highland takes on Norton or University School. More than likely University School, as Norton squeaked out a 2-1 win over Buckeye back on the 16th. Canfield shut out at 8-0. Assume that game was called. And Medina Highland, of course, that's us, Highland. We won 3-0 over St. V. St. M. That game will be Thursday night against Canfield on WHBW. Your one-stop for all things Highland and Baldwin Wallace. No BW football this week. I'm at 646 subscribers. Wow, that's impressive. What's also impressive is the stuff here on WCTV. So please subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, I'm Tommy Maroon, thanking you for watching. Goodbye.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.